I think it's time to just give the metals a break for a while. In one of my previous charts of the days or a video, I can't remember which, but I'd mentioned as we were moving down into this bottom that even in a bear market, which I don't think gold is in, but even in a bear market rally will usually rally at least enough to turn the weekly stochastics or push the weekly stochastics to overbought. And that's what we have accomplished here. So that was like my minimum target. We needed to at least do that on this in this rally, and then we could see where it goes from there. My expectation is that the intermediate cycle would rally further than that, and the stochastics would stay embedded for a while. But as of last week, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It's starting to look more and more like this intermediate cycle has topped. The stochastics here have started to cross over. So there's just, like I said, there's warning bells going off. And here's one of those warning bells. So I've noted this before, that during the advancing phase of an intermediate cycle, price tends to, or the oscillators, I'm using the RSI, but like the 5-day RSI tends to stay overbought for long periods of time, and any move back towards the oversold condition tends to get reversed pretty quickly, and then price gets back to the overbought condition and stays there a while. So you can see during the baby bull rally, every time price moved down enough to move this oscillator back down to oversold, it didn't stay there very long before it moved back up. So this was a indication here that that we were in the declining phase. You can see how the price tended to stay overbought for long periods of time, and it didn't stay oversold for long periods of time, and it didn't stay overbought for very long. So we've got a warning sign here. You can see as we came out of this yearly cycle low, price was staying overbought for a long period of time. That was an indication that the intermediate cycle was advancing. But now we've kind of got the opposite here. We've got the price is staying oversold too long. So if the intermediate cycle was still advancing, you would expect to see this RSI come down here to tag the oversold level, and then you would start another leg up, and we would get overbought again. That's not happening. It's price is staying oversold. So that's another warning bell that the intermediate cycle has probably topped. So I'm on the sidelines for now. I don't anticipate trying to pick a bottom anytime soon. Now we will have a bounce out of a daily cycle low at some point soon, but I suspect it's going to be a failed rally, which means maybe GDX bounces here sometime this week, and maybe we make it back up to 24, gets everybody's hopes up, and then we roll over and we're going to make a lower low. So I think what you need to watch for is the classic signs that the intermediate cycle is in decline would be if we get a bounce and the RSI gets back up towards 70, then I think, if you're still holding long positions, I think you should probably sell once the RSI gets up to or even close to 70, because we're probably entering this kind of a environment where overbought conditions result in another move back down pretty quickly. So there are a lot more things that I look at before I'm interested in buying long again. But one of them is the weekly stochastics. I would like to see this weekly stochastics at least go below 50, and if we could get back down to 20 or lower, that might be a good spot to look for the next intermediate cycle low at this point. So that's going to take, probably a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. So I don't think you need to be in a big hurry to buy long here unless you want to just try and catch a short-term trade, something 4 to 6 days, bounce out of a daily cycle low. But it might be a little bit hard to anticipate exactly when that bounce is going to occur and when it's going to top. So at this point, I think you're probably better off just to stay on the sidelines in the metal sector. If you rode this rally up and you made some good money, I think it's time to just be satisfied with that and just go to the sidelines and look for opportunities in another sector for the next month or two.